Trust me, you gon' see the fruits of your labor. 52%. Blah 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 blah. Oh man. All right, Noah. Noah's Nana. Me too. Me too. Me too. I am also ready. I'm also ready. Just wait for some more people to get up in here before I begin. Whoa. Yeah. Like it up. Tap on the screen. We're gonna be in Ezekiel today, y'all. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 1 is what I want to get into. What's up, Jill? Thank you for the follow. Jill, I really want to congratulate you for that video you made today. It was very cool. It was very nice. Jill be keeping it real. We already at 194 likes, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm just going to get up into I was waiting for Chris and my moderator. Chris is my moderator now. We're just going to get into it, though. But I don't know if you guys have your Bible. But we are in Ezekiel 2:1. Ezekiel 2:1 says, He said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak to thee. Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak to thee. So this is like he doesn't say, sit on your butt, and I will speak to you. And say, lay down, and I will speak to you. It's like I love making this one parable, but not parable, this one comparison. How Zacchaeus, what's up, Bertaby? How Zacchaeus, the tax collector, the wealthy man, mind you, he was wealthy. He could not see Jesus because of the crowd, right? There's people clouding his vision. So what did he do? He took the steps and he went to go climb up in that tree. So I really like this verse of Ezekiel 2:1 where it says, He said unto me, Son of man, stand up upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. Doesn't say, Son of man, go ahead and keep laying down, and I'm going to speak to you. You know, people like to complain this and that when they're like, why isn't God talking to me? You know, I'm trying everything I can. Why? Are you really? Are you sitting down or are you standing up? Are you laying down or are you standing up? So Zacchaeus knew because he couldn't see over the crowd. He knew he had to go climb. In the same way, that's what this verse is saying. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand up upon thy feet, and I will speak to thee. So sometimes we think all we have to do is pray and things will get better, right? This is what I used to think. Faith without works is dead. Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes we think all we have to do is pray and these things will get better. But in this verse it says, stand up on your feet. He don't say keep laying down, I will speak to you. He doesn't say keep sitting down and I will speak to you. He first wants him to stand up. Which also reminds me of this one verse, James 2:17. Which reminds me of James 2:17. We're going to go to James 2:17 whenever I find it. Where is James? Okay, James 2:17. Good evening, Beryl. Good evening. James 2:17 says, Even so faith, if it had not works is dead, being alone, just like Noah said. Was that no? Yeah. Just that's what it see, great minds think alike. Noah's Nana. These things happen. Even so, faith, if it hath not work, is dead, being alone. So basically what Noah's Nana said. Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead, and then we often think all we have to do is pray, and now some gods will like magically take away our sin and take away these things. But the way he takes away these sins is he purges it out of you. Whatever way he might have to purge it out of you might be a lot different than the way he purged it out of me. See, I had to go through the furnace. I had to go through like a refinery, pretty much. Really had to find myself with my back against the wall. And sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it takes going to jail. Sometimes it takes getting hurt. Sometimes even myself, like I always tell you guys, I like to be transparent with y'all. I was a violent man. And I used to come, what's up? Just got my Bible. What verse? Well, we're reading at Ezekiel 2:1. Ezekiel 2:1 is the first topic of the whole lesson today. Is that where it says, Ezekiel 2:1 says, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand up on thy feet, and I will speak unto them. So if we feel like we want God to talk to us, and we say everybody wants the blessings, but they don't want the lessons. We got to go get the lessons before we get the blessings. So everybody wants to get blessed, but they don't want to go through the hard work. They don't want to go through the furnace. They don't want to go through everybody wants to fly first class, right? They want to fly first class when they fly on the plane. But you know why they don't? Because it costs too much. It really does cost too much. And walking with Jesus, it costs too much for some people. It costs a lot to let these things go. It costs a lot to let the drinking go, to let the alcohol go, to let the lustful ways go. So as some people they're okay with flying middle class, Some people don't even want to get on the plane. Some people just don't even want to travel nowhere. And they're all stuck in their ways, and I was like this myself. So I'm not looking down on these people, but we got to pray for them. So if it were easy, if this walk with Christ were easy, everybody would do it. And no, I feel like nobody is really preaching on how hard it can be, how really hard it can be. And there was times where I was looking at my Bible and it's looking at me, and I just don't even know. I didn't know. I couldn't get up out of bed. I'd wake up and just be like, man, F this. Like, for real, straight up. That's how I used to be, my mentality. Some days I was like that. And I was like this when I had my family with me, So it wasn't until that I'm not saying that my family was bad for me, but I had to lose them in order to appreciate them. See, if you have to lose it in order to appreciate these things. So I had to lose my family in order to appreciate them. God bless you too, Handy Boy. So I used to think that I could live a double life and still have God's grace, mercy, and salvation, though he would grant that to me each time I came back to him. It would be my own doing. Like I like making this one. I love making this comparison. This going back to where Jesus was healed the guy at the lame person that's been lame since birth. How would it have looked if this guy's been crippled his whole life, and then Jesus, he heals him. Jesus says, pick up your mat and walk. And how would it look for this guy to go grab his mat and just lay back down? It's stupid, right? These are the things that I was doing. And every time I went back to Jesus, he would accept me with open arms. I'm not saying these things are okay to do, but it's okay to get down. But what is not okay is to stay down. It is not okay to stay down. So for me, running back into sin is just like that. What I just said, he doesn't say keep laying down. He doesn't say keep on sinning. He says pick up your mat and walk. He doesn't say pick up your mat and stand there. We got to do these steps, just like Zacchaeus. He couldn't see the teacher. He couldn't see the teacher, so he had to be able to climb that tree. He couldn't see Jesus, so he got to get himself into a position to where we can hear Jesus. Just like Ezekiel 2:1 says, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand up on thy feet, and I will speak to thee. You know, if you want him to speak to you, if you want the blessings, you got to stand up on your feet. Standing up on my feet was stopping those lustful ways. Standing up on my feet was stop drinking, stop smoking. Standing up on my feet was stopping the nasty videos. Standing up on my feet was to not have these lustful attractions of the flesh. I mean, not even having these conversations with certain my sisters now. Now I consider them sisters, but I was having these lustful conversations with the sisters. Everything would be going well, and then all of a sudden I get this. Evil conviction. Sorry about that, guys. All of a sudden, I get this evil conviction, and then I just start the conversation starts to take a turn because of my own doing. Because I found lustful attractions of the flesh. Because I was allowing things to enter my eyes. I wasn't careful with what I allowed my eyes to see. I wasn't careful with what I allowed my ears to hear. There's a little bit of yeast will work through the whole batch of dough. And you start wondering why. Why am I thinking like this? Well, it's all over the TV. It's all over mainstream media. It's everywhere. Everywhere we turn. I mean, I watched a movie the other day. What did I watch? I watched The Book of Clarence. Stupid movie. Stupidest movie ever. But I watched it, and then in that whole previews, I mean, this is nothing but evil. Nothing but, I mean, it's not even in Halloween season. There's scary movies coming out. There's demonic movies coming out. I mean, we see Doja Cat climbing on the ceiling looking like a demon. We see Lil Nas, mocking Jesus. The enemy is so bold these days. They're not even hiding no more. Like I was watching PJ Masks with my son the other day. And they have this episode where they're doing witchcraft. The Pharaoh, they have a Pharaoh that's doing witchcraft with PJ Masks. And it's just, I mean, it's so crazy. It seems so innocent to the blind. It seems so innocent when you have a carnal mind. Yeah, that's makes mistakes at times, but it don't mean for us to keep on making them. Yeah, we do make mistakes. I mean, that's like goes with what I was saying. Like, it's okay to get down, but it ain't okay to get back, to stay down. You got to get up, get your mat. Just like Jesus said, pick up your mat and walk. Just like Ezekiel says, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand up upon thy feet, and I will speak to you. And then I will speak to you. So we got to do this. There's a lot of groundwork. This is why these people do these. These people are doing 21-day fasts, y'all. They're doing 21-day fasts. And then the whole point of that is because sometimes you got to meet God more than halfway. Jesus fasted for 40 days. And sometimes we got to go halfway and we feel like we deserve the blessings. But sometimes we need to go the extra mile. God, he doesn't spoil us. He's a good father. He disciplines his children. He's not like the father of lies that spoils his children and gives them whatever they want. So it's if God gave us everything we needed all at one time, we wouldn't need him. It's just like when I was working, I told you guys I've traveled a lot. I had my own vehicle. Brand new truck. I'm not flexing or anything. These things can be taken away from you if you're prideful. And I surely was. I thought I got there on my own. So I was working. I worked all around the states, Texas, North Dakota, South Dakota, Florida. And I even got the opportunity. I was blessed with the opportunity to work on U.S. St. Croix, the Virgin Islands. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to the Great Lakes. I've been around, right? So I know what it is to have, and I know what it is to not have. So I mean, in these ways that I got a big head. I got a big head, and I was able to, Satan was able to take it all from me. It was really Jesus. Really, I mean, when we think all the bad things that are happening to us, I think we give the enemy too much credit. We give the enemy way too much credit because it's just like when the disciples seen Jesus walking on water. And at first, upon first glimpse, you can see like they what did they thought? What did Peter think? Or one of them, they thought it's a ghost. It's a ghost. And then they thought something was evil coming toward them. And at the time, you don't realize that these bad things happening in your life. At the time, you don't realize that it's God trying to wake you up. At the time, you don't realize. But now I realize that me getting my truck taken away, me losing my house in Louisiana, me failing all these drug tests, you know what I mean? All these drug tests that I was certain, there's some certain companies that I can no longer work for. I mean, because I kept cheating. I would go heat up. I would go get synthetic urine and I would strap it on my leg, put hand warmers on it. And then I would go in there and I would test it. And sometimes they would pat you down and then they would catch me. And because they would catch me, they would blackball me. And because there were sometimes I traveled way out there, borrowed money to get out there. borrowed money to get to that next job. I would get there, fail the drug test, and then I'm in the negatives because I owe the homie some money. You know, I mean, these are the things that I was doing to myself. And then at the time that these things were happening, just like the drug tails, the black balls, I thought it was the enemy. I really thought it was the enemy when really it was me and Jesus. Just like the disciples thought that they seen Jesus, the ghost. They were like, oh, it's a ghost. But it was not ghost. So a lot of the times we think that we give the enemy too much credit. And most times it's really self-inflicted, and it is Jesus trying to rattle our cage. And sometimes it takes that, y'all. If you're going through a season where you're like, where it's really hurting, it's really feels like all the spiritual warfare is coming upon you, you know, you just got to take accountability and think about all the things you've done. I mean, even down to the little things. Now that I've been saved, now that I'm sober, you know, I still feel the conviction of some things, you know. I still feel convicted, and I don't feel condemned as much, but there are some days where I really do feel bad. What's up, Junior? I really do feel bad. So he's picked me up at plenty of times. He's picked me up a lot of times, you know what I mean? But just like he says, he left that 99 sheep to go save the one. You know what I mean? There will be more in heaven rejoicing for the one sinner that repents than the righteous people that don't need to repent. Since God doesn't come here to heal the doctor doesn't come here to heal the healthy. Comes here to heal the sick. You know what I mean? And I was sick. I really was. I was doing dirt. I was in the lustful attractions of the flesh. I was hitting up these women. Everything that I was doing, you know what I mean? Straight up, I mean, I'm not lying, y'all. I was pretty much a perv, for real. You know, I was messaging ladies, and I was even like the OnlyFans, the things like that. I was doing that, and even while I was working, you know what I mean? I was donating dollars to the clubs, you know. So use your imagination. I don't know. Try to be careful with my choice of words, but these are the things that I was doing. I try to be transparent with you guys. You know, I'm not up here trying to hide behind the Bible. I'm not up here trying to hide behind any type of. I'm not religious. You know, I mean, I have a relationship with my God. So these are the things that He has delivered me from, and I even been able to stop smoking cigarettes. You know, cigarettes were the hardest thing for me to kick. I didn't even have to go to nicotine. I didn't have to go that. I just went. You know, one day I got tired of it. I got tired of having anxiety, and I got tired of having my flesh tell me that, hey, you need a cigarette. I got tired of that because the spirit in me, greater He that is in you than he that is in the world. So, I mean, my spirit is stronger than your flesh. Just like I always tell you guys, you are David and you are Goliath. You know what I mean? That's why my name is Big Goliath, because we are David and we're Goliath. Ain't nobody that can stop you but you. Ain't nobody can bring you down but you. The ball's in your court. It's the man in the mirror. Ain't nobody can bring you down but you. You got to realize that the real war, it ain't really about all these other people. It really ain't all about your haters. The real war, the real enemy right there is your flesh. This flesh right here. Crucify it. We come from Him. We are a spirit. We are a spirit occupying the flesh. So I don't know if a lot of you guys don't know this, but we are a spirit. You know what I mean? If you say I am here outside and you say it in your head, or if you say I'm a spirit and you say it outside, and you say I'm a spirit, and then you can say it in your head, I am a spirit. Like everybody say it. So and then you ask yourself, am I the spirit that says it out loud, or am I the spirit that says it in my head? You know what I mean? And then if you answer your one in the head, you're wrong. If you say you're one out that says it out loud, you're wrong. You are the spirit that's in the middle that can separate the one that says it in their head and the one that separates it from saying it outside. So when these people are doing these bad things with you and they're saying these bad things about you and they're trolling you and trying to get a rise out of you, don't take it personal. Do not take it personal, because it could even be your mom. It could be your dad. It could be anybody. It really can be anybody. You know what I mean? Your Judas is always closer than you think. There's wolves in sheep's clothing. They're all over. It says, behold, I'm sending you out as a sheep in the midst of wolves. And that's how it really be, man. It really be like that. You think these people are good for you, just like David thought Saul was good for him. But even though Saul was shiesty like that, David still honored Saul. And even after Saul passed away, David still honored him. David still honored him. So, look, just like he rejoices over the one sheep. He rejoices over the one sheep, just like in Luke 15:4. You know, He saves us from potential harm. And I've been through a lot. And I always tell myself that I've been accountable, but I've been through a lot, you know. But even more so than that, I can only imagine how much God has saved me from the things that I have not seen. All the plots and the schemes that were gonna, you know, they all got together and all the things that were gonna happen that didn't happen. So you got to think of that. You got to think about all the things that he has delivered you from, because I know it looks bad. I know it looks, I mean, it's so hard not to focus on the bad stuff. It really is, right? Especially when I used to get caught up in these prophetess and prophets and all the like, hey, you're going to experience a miracle. I used to get caught up in all these things. Not only that, I used to compare myself with a lot of people. So what you need to do is stop comparing yourself to everybody else and compare yourself to the person in the mirror. Compare yourself to the person that you were yesterday. I mean, even if it means taking one hit less, one drag less, one puff less, one sip less. I mean, even if it takes I'm not saying that these things are okay. I want you guys to get out of addiction. I really do. I want you to get out of these things. And it is very hard to look in the mirror. It is very hard to look in the mirror when you don't realize who you are. And if you find that it is hard, you really need to build that relationship with the Lord. You need to realize that you are a child of God. You were made in his image. You know what I mean? You came from him. Just like a fish comes out of water, comes from water. Just like a tree comes out of soil. You come from him. You know what I mean? You were made perfect. You were made beautiful. You were made handsome. You know what I mean? Just feel yourself. I mean, sometimes you gotta fake it to make it. But not necessarily just affirm yourself. I know it sounds weird. Trying to think of a better way to say it, but I mean, even when I was down and out, while I was in active addiction, I was telling myself, "Hey, you a great dad," because I knew inside that I was a great dad. I knew that I was a great dad. I knew that I was a great dad, even though I was in active addiction, even though I knew I was a good son to my mom. I knew I was a good brother, you know what I mean, to all my cousins, sisters, and brothers. I knew that I was a good uncle. I just had some problems. I just had some problems that I didn't deal with, and I wasn't healing it because I wasn't revealing it. I wasn't taking accountability in these things. So that's the whole point. Taking accountability is just like where it says in Ezekiel 2:1, and that's the verse that I want you guys to remember for tonight. It says, "And he said unto me, Son of man, stand up upon thy feet, and I will speak to thee." It doesn't say he can stand. You can keep on sitting down. It doesn't say you can go lay down and he will speak to you. You got to stand up. You got to put them feet in front of one another. You know what I mean? Even especially on days where you feel like you can't look at yourself. I mean, it was hard to get out of bed. And some of these people, they don't realize how hard it is. It's a lot of us. We are dealing with that unaliving spirit. I don't want to say the S word, but we are dealing with that unaliving spirit, and it's really hard, dude. I feel you. I really feel you. I used to look in the mirror and despise what I seen. You know what I mean? It's just taking accountability because I wanted to heal it, but I wasn't revealing it. You know what I mean? I wasn't giving God my dirty feet. I wasn't giving God my dirty secrets. I wasn't giving because I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I was ashamed of not only of the things that I did, but the things that happened to me. I was ashamed of all these things. You know what I mean? I didn't know that these things, like growing up on the reservation, these things happen more than you think. So, I mean, just like I was just thought, well, my cousin's been through the same thing and they're doing okay. You know what I mean? My brother's been through the same thing and he's doing okay. So I'm just like, I mean, why am I doing so bad? When these things are normal, these people they're having a good life, and then it's kind of of norm. It's kind of of the norm on the reservation to be hurt as a child. You know, these things happen, but you gotta realize, hey, they ain't normal. You know, it's just like my sister Sierra said, there's a lot of generational curses, and I learned a lot from Sierra. And one thing she told me, she said, it ran in my family till it ran into me, and that's facts. It really is facts. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times the enemy makes you think that Jesus won't take you back, and that's the enemy. So even myself, I hear voices, y'all. I hear voices from time to time, and it's hard. It's definitely hard to separate my voice from God's voice to like the numerous voices that I hear. I really do hear voices, and it's crazy, man. It really, if you're not headstrong, and if you're not, it used to drive me nuts. I used to sit there and I used to try to drive myself out. You know, it didn't matter how, because the ways I hear them, it's crazy. It's really, man, I went through a lot of spiritual warfare, and I still go through it every day. And when I go outside, I mean, there's crows out there just waiting for me. And not only that, that same monitoring spirit that's in that crow, it shapeshifts. And then I see that monitoring spirit within some of my family members. You know what I mean? They act like they mean well. Just like Saul was trying to give David that armor. And Saul didn't mean well. Saul was envious. Saul was operating with the spirit of jealousy. So when we think about God doesn't want you to think about these evil people. When you don't want it, when you start to think that you're better than these evil people, you know what I mean? The witches and the warlocks, when you start to think that we are at a war, we are at a war, but our battle is not against flesh and blood, you know what I mean? So when I was start, even like, I knew I wasn't better than the addicts, right? I knew that for sure. I knew I wasn't better than the adulterers. But when I first came to Christ, and that's who I thought I was better for. I thought that I was better. I thought I was better than the witches, the warlocks. I thought I was better than the trolls on the internet. I started thinking I was better, you know what I mean? But I realized that there are more ways to come in agreement with Satan other than signing your life away. There are many other ways, like overeating, going into gluttony, and that's some of the things that I'm struggling with now. New levels equals new devils, you know what I mean? So you got to realize that you can come into agreement with the evil one more than one way. You don't have to just sign your life away. You can come into agreement by gossiping, by manipulating, by lying. These are all forms of witchcraft, you know what I mean? These things can open doors. You can come into agreement by even watching what you allow to play in your ears, like even myself. Yeah, I felt kind of bad because I was going back and forth with this one person, but I wasn't really. I just kind of wanted to understand where he was coming from. And then you got to realize that some of these people, they just want to distract you. They just want to try to get you out of character. And that's the whole point about it, to get you out of nobody can enter a strong man's house without first tying him up first. And how we get tied up is we operate in the spirit of offense. Don't let none of these people offend you, because once you offend you open that spirit of offense. And all of a sudden, because you got offended, you want to operate in the spirit of revenge. Because you got offended, you go to the spirit of anger. Spirit of anger leads to the spirit of revenge, and all of a sudden you got seven other deadly sins that have possessed you, just because you gave that enemy a foothold, just because a little bit of yeast will work through the whole batch of dough. So I didn't realize that I was coming into agreement by thinking that I was better than these witches and then these warlocks. I didn't think that I was better. I didn't realize that I was coming into agreement by acting like, hey, yo, I'm better than you. Because at the end of the day, those are the people that I want to come to Christ. If they can, God loves addicts. And you got to realize that some of these witches and these warlocks, they are addicts. They are addicted to that kind of lifestyle. They are addicted to the orgies. They are addicted to all the things that they do. You know what I mean? So if they can shift if just like me, I have an addictive personality. Now I'm addicted to the word. Now I'm addicted to spreading the word. Now I'm addicted to fellowshipping. So if you can shift that focus that they have toward that idol, you can imagine how much power they can have when they shift it to the right thing, to the Most High God, to the number one idol. Our God is a jealous God, but that does not mean he's a tyrant. You know what I mean? What's his is his. Worship should be his. All glory should be his. Just like if I had a lady and someone was looking at him different, or that person was trying to spit game at my lady, I would tell him, hey, yo, that's my lady. Back off. And that's not because I'm insecure. That's just because, hey, you're stepping into the wrong territory. That's my lady. You know what I mean? What's mine is mine. What's the same thing with God. What's his is his. The worship belongs to him. The focus belongs to his. The attention that we have, it belongs to his. You know what I mean? These flesh, the world, the money, all that, you can have it. I don't want it. I don't need it. Take it with you. I don't own the land. I don't own the land. The land never belonged to us. The land never belonged to us. Success is a state of mind. And people say you gotta have these certain accolades, these certain achievements in order to be a child of God. You know what I mean? But it's just try not to focus on those things. You know what I mean? That's why you can fast from a lot of things. You can fast from your phone too. Realize that you can fast from other people. You can fast from socializing. You can fast from that friend. And if you're talking to someone and you start finding yourself like getting a little too attached, or you find yourself trying to be in a lustful way, fast from them. Fast from that individual. It's not even them. It's not that. I'm not saying that these people are bad for you, but we have to take accountability. Just like I've got to be very careful. I got to be very careful with what I allow into my space now. I have to be very careful because there's just a little bit of yeast. A little bit of yeast will work through the whole batch of dough, and I got to be vigilant. It's not because I'm trying to be perfect, and it's just because I'm really scared. I'm really scared of falling back, and I feel like the next time I fall back, it's gonna be the last time. I feel like I'm walking on thin ice. You know what I mean? But I know when I know that I trust God enough that he's leading me into the right direction. He's bringing in the right people. I used to be so sad. I used to be so sad because I lost that relationship. I lost those friends. You know what I mean? I was like, nobody wants to hang out with me. You know what I mean? You got to realize when the dope's gone, the friends are going to go too. Either one, they're going to go. See, when my truck broke down, and I live in a real rural area. So when my truck broke down, all the friends left. Nobody wanted to hit me up because, I mean, they went to the next person that had a ride. You know what I mean? They went to the next person that had the dope. When the drugs are gone, they will be gone right along with it. They will be gone right along with it. So, I mean, these things run out, y'all. That relationship, the love bombing is going to run out, y'all. Be careful with these people that want to manipulate you. And if you find yourself that this person draws you away from God, it's probably not from God. You know what I mean? I always say this one, if you are getting a person sent in your life, go to this 1 Corinthians, I think it is. It's either second or first. It says love is patient, love is kind, right? Everybody knows that verse. So if you meet someone and then you feel like they're you want to get, serious with them, you can replace that word love with their name. So, I mean, if you meet someone named Jan, we'll just use Jan. I hope there's no Jans in here. But if you meet someone named Jan, you know what I mean? You tell him, Jan is patient. Jan is kind. Jan does not envy. Jan does not boast. Jan does not keep no record of wrongs. And if that sounds like that, it checks out and everything, that person's most likely sent from God. But if Dan isn't patient and Dan isn't kind, if Dan is boastful, if Dan keeps records of right and wrongs, Dan he's most likely ain't sent from God. You know what I mean? Like I always say it's good. It's good to have a God ordained relationship. But even before that, you got to have an ordained relationship with God. First establish your foundation. First establish your kingdom. First establish your relationship with him, where your foundation is molded strong. Don't be like that person that blows just, if someone blows around your foundation, you know what I mean? That's why you got to wear the full armor of God. You got to have that thick skin. You got to have that buffalo hide skin. You know what I mean? Just like the natives. They used to armor themselves with buffalo hide. You know what I mean? You got to have thick skin. You cannot let these people bother you. You cannot go back and forth with them. It's whatever, And that's the main thing they want. They want your attention. Them demons that they have in them, they feed off of that. They love it. All the light that you have, they want to take. They want to dim your light. But put your light on top of the lampstand. Put your light on top. So our battle is not against flesh and blood. When it comes down to it, there's only one enemy, and that enemy is Satan. It really is. And I know some of these people, they get you out of character. I know sometimes it's like my sister, what does she say? Audrey. When someone's coming at you in a weird way, in a sideways way, what you got to do is that movie, Nacho Libre, where he's like, get that corn out of my face. You got to have that mentality. Like, get that corn out of my face. It says, wash you. And me, when it says love your enemies, when I heard that and I heard washing feet, I asked myself, I was like, I started thinking of some of my enemies, because I know who some of these people are. I know a lot of them. I know who they are. And when it says love your enemies, I asked myself, would you be willing to literally wash their feet? And then I know some of these people, I know them. You're grown man, they don't got the best hygiene, whatever. Haters, you know what I mean? And I asked myself, you really want to walk with Jesus? You really want to walk with Jesus? If they came in here, would you be willing to wash your enemy's feet? Would you be willing to wash that person's feet? And then I was just like, really, you have to swallow your pride. You have to swallow that pride, and you have to be humble enough to know that, hey, you know who you are. And so as long as you know who you are, nobody can mess with you. Nobody can ever mess with. Doesn't matter what they say to you, because first, like I always tell you, Dave, I'm David and you're Goliath. I'm David and I'm Goliath. You're David and you're Goliath. Your Goliath is your flesh when it comes down to it. And there's only one enemy. It's yourself and Satan. The flesh is evil, right? But the flesh is evil. So, crucify the flesh. Get rid of it. Purge it. Forget it. It ain't worth it. It really ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. So, another thing I wrote is, when you think of a possession, you think of Hollywood demons, right? You think of all the fangs. You think about all the evil people, and the evil looking people with the fangs and the blood and all that. And that's the things that you think of when you think of demons. But yes, they appear like that in the spiritual realm, and some people are enabled to see those things in the spiritual realm. Some people can see those things. Like I know some people that have been stuck in what do you call this? When you sleep paralysis, and those are the things that they see. Or you guys might see things at the corner of your eyes. You guys might see flashes. Those are spiritual gifts. But then you got to also realize the craziest demons, the most potent demons are your covert demons. You know what I mean? The people that come to you as an angel of light, the people that disguise themselves as sheep and they're really wolves in sheep's clothing. Those are the real demons. That, I mean, they operate in full demonic demons. They gaslight you. They manipulate you. They try to get your focus off of things. They try to get your rise out of you. They try to argue with you. I mean, it's like I said, but that's that eagle. You guys are eagles. You're an eagle. Don't come down here and fight with that snake. Just leave them alone. Whatever. Pray for them. Tell them you love them. Say, hey, brother, I love you. I care about you. And God loves you even more. God loves you even more. It says in the Bible, you got to turn your cheek. And if push comes to shove, you know what I mean? If push comes to shove, you know, me, I don't know how you guys think about this, but me, if push comes to shove, you know what I mean? I ain't going to turn my cheek if they spit on me. If they come up at my door, you know what I mean? If they come up to me, even when I'm on the outs, you know what I mean? We're going to handle business. We're going to handle business. You know, I'm going to turn my cheek. I might turn my cheek, but I'm going to do a full 360-degree spin. I'm going to turn all the way and we're going to go at it. We're going to go to war. I'm going to lead a war path. I'm going to lead a war path on you. If you really want the smoke like that, if you really want to go at, there's a stand your ground law in Arizona. Y'all want to come up to my spot, you know what I mean? We're going to war. We're going to war. So, I mean, I even the Jezebel spirits, I feel like I had the Jezebel spirit before, you know, I mean, God has delivered me from these things. But the only reason why he had delivered me from these things is because I took accountability. And that's the first step of taking accountability is revealing it so you can get to healing it. You cannot heal what you cannot reveal. And you gotta reveal it. You gotta realize that, hey, I am not a good person. I'm not a good person. Even now that I feel like I'm in whatever society's eyes, good person. You know, he still asks me to pray for my enemies. He still asks me to help my enemies. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, why? They're not good people, Lord. They're not good people. And you know what he says to me? You're not a good person either. You ain't a good person either, but I still love you. I still love you. And I think a lot of people start getting a big head, especially when they start walking with Christ. They start to say, hey, you know what I mean? I'm all it. I'm better than y'all. I'm better than y'all, but we got to realize we ain't better than nobody. Those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Just like Goliath was exalted and David humbled him. So another thing I wrote, Philippians 4:18, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. You know, it's only when we truly surrender. We got to come to that full surrender. We got to come to that point where we realize that, hey, man, my flesh is weak. My flesh is weak, but greater he that is in me than he that is in the world. I know that I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. It does not say I can do all things through, the frequencies. I can do all things through the tarot cards. I can do all things through the medicine man. It says I can do all things through Christ. And we've got to first stand up so he can speak to me. Just like the main topic, the main topic was Ezekiel 2:1. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand up upon thy feet and I will speak to thee. Stand up on your feet. We're in Ezekiel 2:1. And that's pretty much the only verse that I wanted to, the Ezekiel 2:1, and also Miss Noah's Nana said it. Ezekiel 2:1 and John 5:8. Faith without works is dead. So I mean, we can have all the faith we want. We can have faith that moves mountains, right? But I mean, if we don't put it into works, it ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing. So it says, stand up, Son of man, stand up. He said, stand unto me, Son of man, stand up upon thy feet, and I will speak to thee. So let me see what else I wrote. So we can't expect Jesus to piggyback us like the man at the pool. I love making that comparison because, I mean, how would it have looked if that guy can walk? How would it have looked if that guy said, hey, Jesus, can you hold my mat too? Can you piggyback me too? Like, can the disciples carry me too? No, he said, pick up your mat and walk, just like in Ezekiel 2:1. He says, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, get up, ye zin, inti ne entoche. He's saying, get up, walk. You gotta walk. You gotta walk. I know it's hard. So I kept writing, and I said, we can pray for ourselves. Y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Did you guys know that you can pray for yourselves? I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but you can get your anointing oil. If you don't have anointing oil, go get some vegetable oil, whatever. Put that on you. Lay hands on yourself. Yes, fellowship is cool. Fellowship is important, like what we're doing right now. But I mean, we got to realize that we have to have that intimate relationship with God. You can put hands on yourself. Put your nose to the ground. Surrender. Say, hey, God, I cannot do it. I can't do it. I'm tired. I'm weak. I'm tired of this fighting, Lord. And I mean, it might not change right away. But there's times that I at least felt that comfort after breaking down, after crying. I felt that comfort of him saying, it's okay, Kelsey. It's all right. Are you done now? Are you done sulking? Are you done, are you done hating on yourself? Look, I know you know the potential you can be. And a lot of us, we're battling our own selves. We're battling our flesh. The flesh is weak, but our spirit is willing. Okay. So don't gossip, y'all. Don't gossip. Please don't gossip. Don't manipulate. Don't lie to people. And a lot of the things that I see is on... this is why I don't promote my music no more, really. It's just... I don't want to be, man. I don't want people to think that I'm doing this for money. That's why I turn off the gifts. And I don't want to use Jesus, I don't know. To each his own. I might be wrong for this, but I just don't want to use Jesus. But if anything, Jesus is using me so that I can get friends. I can get friends. You guys have become my new friends. You guys have become my new brothers and sisters. And every day I see the regular faces, and then we'll get the new person, new people coming in. It's so awesome. It's so awesome to the point where I'm glad I went through these things. I'm glad that I've got my heart broken. I'm glad that these people walked away from me. Out with the old, in with the new. Because why? Because that's what we do. So we got to realize people are knowingly and unknowingly being used by the enemy as monitoring spirits. The evil one, he cannot be omnipresent. He can't be everywhere all at once. So that's where you get your monitoring spirits. And I mean, they're just kicking back. I mean, these things can shapeshift. They can take the spirit can take a shapeshift into the role of a person. Might be your relative. And then earlier I was laying on my couch right here, and I don't know where we're getting these flies from, but I seen that fly, just land right up, or actually it was an ant. It was an ant, and then it just got me out of nowhere. I'm like, what is this for? Why? And then after that, I anointed the oil. I anointed my whole house. I anointed every room, every window, every door. You know what I mean? These are things that we have to do because they see what's going on, y'all. They see what's going on. A lot of y'all that have been rocking with me since the jump. Everybody that's been with me since the jump, y'all experiencing it now. You guys are going through the spiritual warfare. Some of us are losing family members, you know what I mean? Some of us are going through it bad. And we just had Alexis hop on the crew. I don't know if she's here, but we had her, we're trying to support her now because I sense the Holy Spirit within her. And because that we're linking up, she's experiencing some spiritual warfare on that side. And even it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's not. It sounds crazy to someone who's carnal-minded, but all you people that are tapped in with the spiritual side of things too, you guys know what's up, man. And then they're even working with things like the Wi-Fi, direct energy weapons, frequency weapons. You know what I mean? These are their devices to stop your phone. You know what I mean? I've been trying to upload a video all day, and they're doing that too. They get real petty with it. So give everything to the Lord. Give everything to the Lord. And now people are knowingly and unknowingly. It's constant battle. Like even me, myself, I was unknowingly being used as an agent by allowing this individual that I was with. I was allowing her to manipulate me because I seen the person that she can be. I seen the potential that she can be through Christ. And I didn't want to, because when I was happy, when I was without her, like I've been by myself and I was happy without her, right? But because I felt bad, I allowed myself to go back, step back into that relationship. And I allowed myself to go get walked on. I allowed myself to get cheated on. I allowed myself to get manipulated. But I didn't know that I was working for the enemy, because by me allowing these things, I was letting these things happen, and I was keeping her in this matrix from waking her up. So you got to realize, you got to know when to say no, and you got to not people please, draw the line, and be careful who you talk to. Be careful who you converse with, because this is a constant battle every day. It's a constant battle every day. So without even realizing that I was being used as an agent to prevent her from waking up, because if I just catered to her and enabled her, she would have never been like, hey, Now I hear that she's making the steps to walk with Christ. And had I just stuck right by her, she would have probably never even hung out with Christ. Never even got to Christ. So I'm very happy for her. Have a lot of hope for her, y'all, I'm not gonna mention the names, you know what I mean? That's the thing about us, you know what I mean? On this side, we don't have to mention nobody's name. We might use somebody as an example, but hey, we don't have to gossip. That's the thing about us, you know. When we get together, Sierra, Chris, Travis, all the newcomers, Miss Yazi, Berta B, you know what I mean? Know us, all of us. We get together and we don't gossip, and we don't drag nobody's name through the mud. You know what I mean? We see the trolls that come on, and we really Bella's been with us for a long time. We pray for them. You know what I mean? And it's that's how we fight back. We love the heck out of them, and y'all see how I don't know. Y'all see how I respond to some of these comments. You know what I mean? Really, I love them. Like I've get some people that come in here and say, they start repping Lucifer. They start throwing up them 3 dubs, the 3 digits right there. They'll say things like that, and a lot of them, they don't get the reaction that they expect from me. And a lot of them, they will follow me after that. They will start to follow. They will click follow, and I'm like, whoa, that's what's up, bro. And then they're like, hey, you're actually pretty cool. I'll say, well, you're actually really, really cool. Really, you're really cool. If you just change your mentality, change your attitude, and your attention to trolling. If you have that same drive for the Most High, if you have that same drive that you have through everybody, imagine what we can do. Imagine what we can do. It's relationship over religion. I'm not discrediting church. I'm really not. But I don't even go to church, and that's only because I haven't found a church that suits me. A lot of these churches are operating with the religious spirits. They are condemning rather than convicting. You know what I mean? We got to convict these people. We can't condemn them. Cannot look down on them. And that's why I made that one video about me apologizing when I was getting wound up. You know what I mean? I was thinking that I was better than the witches. I was thinking I was better than the warlocks. I was thinking I was better than the people that cast the spells. That's what I was thinking. And then I was just like, man, I'm not better, because at the end of the day, those are the people who I want. Y'all see the ex-Satanists, y'all see the ex-witches and warlocks. Their testimonies are so strong. And because they know how the other side works, imagine if they come over here and they start schooling us for real on how it works, you know what I mean? Like, what's the guy named David Hernandez, Sierra? He really knows. So there's Erica Monencia. Erica Monencia was an ex-Satanist. I'll remember her name later. And David Hernandez, I think John Ramirez. There you go. John Ramirez was an ex-Satanist. And so if I was in this state and I seen John Ramirez and I'm not, we're better than you. You know what I mean? We're better than you on this side. We don't have to backstab nobody, because these people, they can get away with murder. They can get away with murder because they can't physically prove it, but they do it. Everything they do is shiesty. Everything is on the low. You know what I mean? Because they can operate like that, they can get away with murder. These people are out catching bodies. For real, they are catching bodies. They tried to catch me. You know what I mean? They can do these things. And because we can't prove it physically, they're operating all day long. They're operating all day long. So John was a warlock. And yeah, so these things, if we had these religious spirits, John Ramirez, or is that his name? Mr. Ramirez, he would have never came back. When I used to see all the Christians bickering, the Christians, whatever, that's why I don't even like calling myself a Christian. I follow Christ. I follow Jesus. You know what I mean? And I don't have no denomination. I don't have none of that. I just follow, you know what I mean? I have a relationship with my dad, and my dad is a great dad. He is the Most High God. I love him so much. He's my lover. He's my best friend. He's become my mentor. I didn't meet him because of my mom believed. I didn't meet him because I went into a church. I didn't meet him because of a pastor. I met him because I opened that book, and one day I said, hey, if you are really real, I need you to show up. And ever since then, he's been showing out. He's been showing up and showing out. He said, I can do it, but you ain't gonna like the way I do it. You ain't gonna like it. But now I love it. It says, and what is it in Jeremiah 29:11, I think? For I have plans to prosper you, not to harm you. He might harm you just for a little bit. Just to wake you up, just like how he had to appear at Mount Sinai in a violent way to Moses. He had to appear with the whirlwind swirling down on the heads of the wicked. He had to appear with the hail and the storm. And, those are things that I wanted to cover today, is that there's a lot more than just praying. We have to fast, you know what I mean? We have to fellowship. We have to keep coming back, whether it's for me or whoever you guys like to listen to, you know what I mean? There's groundwork. There's groundworks to this. We got to meet him more than halfway sometimes. And he's a good father. He's a good father. He disciplines his kids. And what you gonna do? You gonna heed instruction, or you gonna rebuke it like a fool? I don't know what verse that is. I'm not really very good with numbers. You know what I mean? I've only been walking with Christ for since November 2022 is when I first seen Jesus. I seen Jesus with my own eyes. I seen him. I didn't get to see his face, but I had a pistol pointed at my head, and you know what I mean. I thought that was my time. I thought it was my time to go, but I thought it was my time to go. But it was my time to shine. Little did I know. I didn't know that I was such a threat. I didn't know that I was such a, you know what I mean, such a liability to the wicked world. You know what I mean? Now that I'm waking up and I'm exposing these things, these people do not like me. They hate me. There's people in my own family, you know what I mean? They really, I wish you guys could see all the looks that I get from them. And at times, you know what I mean, it gets a little lump in my throat. And I start to feel like, hey, man, what the heck? Like, I thought we were family, but it's only till you wake up and you realize how really ugly this world is. So I mean, so give everything to the Lord, give everything to the Lord. And another verse that I wrote down was Mark 9:29. So he said to them, "This kind can come out only by nothing but prayer and fasting." Prayer and fasting, prayer and fasting. So you got to fast from a lot of things. You got to fast, not only just fasting ain't just only food, you know what I mean? Fasting from all distractions, fasting from everything but the word. Fill your body up with nothing but worship music. Fast with, just whenever you get hungry, go to the word. When you feel tempted, go to the word. This is fasting is how I stopped smoking cigarettes. Because I finally fasted, I managed to quit all of these things before I started fasting. But now I fasted, and every time I started getting anxiety, every time my flesh wanted to go get a cigarette because I had anxiety, you know what I mean? Every time I just go to the word. I just went to the word. I started reading Romans 12, you know what I mean? Offer your body as a living sacrifice. Romans 12 is all about a sacrifice. So this walk with Jesus, it starts to become a walk, and then it starts to become a jog, and then it starts to become a full-on sprint. And then you start running with the Lord, and you wear the full armor of God. Now that you wear the full armor of God, they ain't going to attack you the same way. It ain't going to be the same things. You know what I mean? He's going to come as an angel of light. Satan's going to come as an angel of light, and these people seem like it mean well, but and even they might not even know it. They might not even know that they're just like I said, I didn't know that I was working as an agent with the spouse that I was with. I didn't know that I was being an agent of the enemy. So that is why they say, it says in Ephesians 6:12, I think, that we don't battle against flesh and blood. We battle against spiritual hosts of the wickedness of heavenly places. This is your heavenly place. You know what I mean? That's where it all starts right here. Everything starts from right here. It all got to start from. This is where it takes place. This is all where it takes place. And then another verse that I wanted to come over is Isaiah 2:22, where it says, "Stop trusting in mere humans who have but a breath in their nostrils. Why hold them esteem? Stop trusting in mere mortals who have nothing but a breath in their nostrils. Why do you hold them esteem?" And that's what I was doing. I was losing sleep over someone that didn't even know who Jesus was. You know what I mean? Help me. It's kind of embarrassing. It really is. And then I tried to unalive myself for this person, really. For someone who didn't even have a relationship with God. You know what I mean? Stop trusting in these people. Stop trusting in these people, for real. And once you realize that Amos 3:3, the two cannot walk together unless they agree upon. So if me and Chris didn't agree, you know what I mean, I probably wouldn't be his homie. I probably wouldn't talk to him every day. You know what I mean? I talk to Chris every day. That's my boy. Sierra, she'll message me some videos every day, and we've grown a bond. You know what I mean? I've grown a bond with some of you guys. You know what I mean? And yeah. A lot of you guys, everybody that's been coming on, I appreciate you guys. Travis has been here. We started out with 3 people, and sometimes you guys will see how crowded it will get. On the weekends, on a Saturday or Sunday, sometimes we get up to 500 people. It's pretty crazy. And it's nothing. I don't want all the credit. God gets all the glory. God gets all the glory, and I think that's the last verse that I came over. So yeah, I'm gonna end it right there, guys. And so Ezekiel 2:1. "And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak to thee." So you got to stand up on your feet. You got to stand up on your feet. It does not say, "Son of man, go ahead and lay down, go ahead and crawl, go ahead and, stand up on your feet, and then I will speak to you," he says, like a good father would. Oh, another one along with that verse. So it's Ezekiel 2:1, and then Ezekiel 2:1 and John 5:8. Faith without works is dead. So those are the two verses that I wanted to go over with you guys. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you guys when I when I go through these 7 o'clock sermons, whatever you want to call it, I do look at myself only. I try to look at myself, but yeah, no, I'm here with you guys. I'm rocking with you guys every day. And someone reached out today and asked if I was using, and I appreciate that. I appreciate who that person. I'm not going to mention the person's name, but she was afraid that I might take offense to it. But I mean, this is how we fellowship. We hold each other accountable, especially now that I got a platform. You know what I mean? I got to be very careful with what I do and how I say things. You know what I mean? And I'm not here to buttercoat nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to hurt nobody's feelings, because I mean, especially this is what I believe in. This is I seen him. I seen him with my own eyes. It's like I say, I always make this one comparison. Like I used to get down with the cliques, right? I used to get down with the homies. So, and when I used to like get jumped, someone would get jumped, and then someone would jump in with me and then prevent me from not getting jumped. You know what I mean? Get in, start throwing them chingazos, start throwing them fists, and then the next morning, you know what I mean? I'll be like, hey, to the other homies, I'll be like, hey, so and so had my back there. You know what I mean? So and so had my back that day. I would give him credit. You know what I mean? So how does it make sense to give the homie credit for a situation like that and not give the Most High the credit when he has brought me out far so much more than that? He's got me out of being beaten. He's got me out of falling back into the lust. So I mean, that deserves credit enough. If I was giving credit to the homie because he helped me, chingazos, I think that's what it means. Noah's Nana. I think that's what it means. You can't throw fists, right? I think it means fists. I mean, these things that are happening. So if I'm gonna give credit to the homie who has nothing but a flesh, nothing but a breath in his nostrils, why am I not gonna give credit to the living God, the living God, the living God? 7:58, y'all. So I appreciate you guys tuning in for real. This will be on YouTube afterwards. And those of you that are new, I don't know who's new, but I've been posting some of my lives on YouTube at Big Live. And yeah, intercession. We gotta intercede. 8:58. That's what's up. Spitting that fire. Woo! Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's what that's what it means. Okay. Post show. Hey, Anna 1, Anna 2. Much love, Anna. Much love. Peace and blessings. Peace, blessings. What's up from Arizona? From Texas, huh? Cool. Thank you for the shares. Yeah. No doubt. And yeah, those of you that are new, if you really want to support, go to my. Thank you. I don't feel healthy as heck. So I've been picking up a little bit of weight, but I appreciate that. Good night, Noah. How you doing, Anna? I hope you're doing good. Anna, skiddly diddly do. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys coming in, and yeah, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm ignoring you guys. It's just I want to get the word out before anything. And I'm excited for the word. These are things like I'm excited for 7. Well, okay, for sure. I get excited for this 7 o'clock. And then I want to go tell Chris, you know what I mean? Or, I'll be like, Chris, I got this word today, bro, but I got to hold it in, And, yeah, so good night, Noah. Thank you for the follow. So, appreciate. Hey, Leighton B. That's my oldest son's name. My step sonny boy, my sonny boy. Cool. Good night, Anna.